Hello, and thank you for taking the time to learn more about CARES at CSM. In this presentation, we will provide information on what CARES is at CSM, who's on the CARES team, how to file a CARES report, when to file a CARES report, what happens when a report is filed, your role as a reporter, and when you are mandated to report. CARES was established to address support for students in crisis. Faculty, staff, and students can file a report if they know someone who may be sad, anxious, disturbed, angry, lost, frustrated, alone, hopeless, or depressed. We all know that when students are in crisis, learning and class attendance can be significantly impacted. We are a resource if you need an intervention team to help support a student. In terms of the CARES team, there's a lot of intentionality that went into developing the team. The CARES team is chaired by the Vice President of Student Services and includes the following representatives: the Public Safety Captain, Enrollment Services Dean, the Disability Resource Center Director, the Wellness Center Director, Personal Counseling and Wellness Services Coordinator, Counseling Faculty, Public Safety Sergeant, and the Vice President of Student Services Executive Assistant.
Okay, let's talk about behaviors of concern. There are three types of behaviors that you need to pay attention to: dangerous behaviors, distressed behaviors, and disruptive behaviors. Let me start with dangerous behaviors. If a student is danger to self or others, acting out and appears to be potentially violent behaviors towards self or others, threaten to harm or kill self or others, that includes suicide or homicide, please contact 911 immediately. And here are suggested actions when you encounter this kind of situations. Stay calm, and it's important to protect personal safety and safety of others if possible. Buy time by talking calmly and with concern until help arrives. Whenever a student expresses suicidal thoughts, take them seriously and get help immediately by calling public safety. And please contact and get help immediately before you file a CARES report, because the CARES team might not be able to get to the report immediately. So please get help right away. And you can later file a CARES report. So distressed behaviors. Examples are anxious, sad, crying, or depressed, difficult to focus, angry, excessive demand for support, talking or writing about suicidal ideations with no specific plans. And of course, if the student expresses suicidal thoughts and intention with specific plans, you need to get immediate help by calling public safety or 911. But many times, students expresses their suicidal thoughts in a very vague way, or maybe no specific plans, but they have some idea of killing themselves, harming themselves. So that's unfortunately very common. So when you encountered these type of distressed behaviors, here are suggested actions. Please talk with students privately and express your concern. And let them know what kind of resources are available on campus, such as personal counseling services, DRC, etc. And file a CARES report. Okay, lastly, we're going to talk about disruptive behaviors. Disruptive behavior is causing disruption in or outside the classroom irrational or inappropriate comments or behavior, verbally abusive, defiant, etc. And you're going to define what the disruptive behaviors are, because your student may have different definition of disruptive behaviors and might be different from your definition of it. So here are suggested actions. Always protect personal safety. Yes, that's always number one. And inform the student that the behavior is disruptive, inappropriate, and unacceptable. So please be specific about what kind of behavior you're talking about. Attempt to elicit the cooperation of the student if appropriate. Set limits for acceptable behaviors. You need to warn students of temporary classroom exclusion if they fail to stop their disruptive behaviors. If warning fails or discussion with students seems to be inappropriate, dangerous, or ineffective, request student to leave class. When you decide to do that, please complete a removal of disruptive student form and contact your division dean and the VP Student Services Office. Then file a CARES report. For additional information, please refer to a brochure called Addressing Disruptive Behavior of Students on Campus.
How to file a CARES report. You would not file a CARES report if there is an emergency in your classroom or you know of a student in immediate crisis. In that case, you would dial 911 or call Public Safety, 650-738-7000. But if you do have a student who you feel is in crises, if they're lost or feel depressed or they're not coming to class as often as they used to, they look disheveled or anything like that, and you feel like they may be needing a little help, then you would file a CARES report, because the CARES team uses all the resources available both on campus and off campus to help the student in crises. This form is used to report behaviors of concern, distress or disruptive behaviors where you're concerned for the student. And again, if it's an emergency, please dial 911 or call Public Safety at 650-738-7000. So what happens to the report once you file it? It goes directly to the VPSS office and it's reviewed by the CARES team. The CARES team monitors it Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And you click on File a CARES report. Please provide your full name, your email, and your phone number so that we can reach you if we have any follow-up questions for this report. Please be sure to click one of the CSM options below. So it could be CSM medical concern, CSM mental health issue, CSM physical endangerment, or CSM other. Please be careful that you don't click on Kenyatta or Skyline. Provide the date and approximate time of the incident. Provide the location if applicable. In the box below, you can add additional information about the location. Parties involved, please provide students' full name, G number, and email if that is available.
How a CARES case is reviewed. The Office of the Vice President of Student Services receives the report as soon as it is submitted. As the reporter, you will receive confirmation via email to let you know that the report has successfully been submitted and is being reviewed. The CARES team is notified and will review the case. The team meets every week to review and discuss cases, but does not wait until the weekly meetings to respond. The team implements the appropriate services needed to support the student in a timely manner. There are times when the reporter is invited to attend the CARES meeting in order to provide additional information regarding the case. The CARES team partners with both internal and external services to support the student as needed. Some of the services and programs that are regularly utilized include SparkPoint, the Wellness Center, counseling, both personal and academic, the Disability Resource Center, and public safety, just to name a few. The reporter will also receive updates as to the status of the case. Once we have completed the case, we will close it. However, there are times when we may keep cases open for any follow-up that may be needed.
Your role as a reporter. CSM staff, faculty member, and students can file a CARES report on student. We really appreciate that you are taking time to file a CARES report. Our goal is to assist students to connect to appropriate services that they might need. In order to make that process smoother for students, we need your help. Here are suggested actions. Tell the student that you're making a referral to CARES team, if possible. Ask the student if they're interested in getting help and access to on-campus resources. You may want to find out also if they're already getting services from on-campus or off-campus programs. We may ask you to introduce the student to one of the CARES team members so that the referral process is smoother. We would like to avoid a situation where one of us, who may be a total stranger to student, is contacting them. You can imagine that the conversation might not go well, or they might not even want to answer our emails or phone calls. So it would be a lot easier if you're able to introduce us to your student. We can invite a reporter to attend the CARES meeting to give us more information about student so that we can better serve the student.
When we talk about your role as a reporter, it's also important for us to point out that there are times when faculty and staff are mandated to report particular behavior or incidences, and that is when there is a potential Title IX case. There is a separate Title IX form that you can fill out. However, oftentimes we do get some Title IX cases that come through CARES reporting. Here is more information on Title IX.
Here at the College of San Mateo, we are committed to maintaining a safe campus. And Title IX is a powerful tool for combating gender-based violence and harassment, and in order to respond to survivors' needs, in order to ensure that they have access to education. Sex-based discrimination is not limited to our female students. Regardless of real or perceived sex, gender identity, or gender expression, all of our female, male, and non-conforming individuals within our campus are protected from sex-based discrimination, harassment, and violence. At the College of San Mateo, we do not tolerate sexual harassment, sexual misconduct, including but not limited to sexual assault, sexual coercion, dating violence, domestic violence, stalking, cyber stalking, retaliation, and discrimination based on gender and hate crimes based on gender. Oftentimes, I talk to faculty, staff, and administrators, and they are unsure of their role as a mandated reporter. As a mandated reporter within our college district, if you hear or witness something that might fall into this category of sexually based violence, you are mandated to report that to your Title IX coordinator. And while that may seem odd, especially if you haven't had a chance to talk to students to confirm, really it's providing students with support that they need. So my role as a Title IX coordinator is to connect students with resources. I'll connect them with resources, I'll connect them with support, and we'll help them navigate through this process. So your role as a mandated reporter is not to investigate, but if you hear something or see something or have a feeling that one of our students or staff members has experienced something that could fall under Title IX, just report it. If you have questions or want to talk through something, please feel free to email me. All right, have a great day, everyone.